the intro music. Yeah! Woohoo!
Hey Star Trek Fleet Commanders, welcome back to the channel. A little change of pace of what you're used to, because I really want to provide this video as more of like an informative for all players in the game, whether you are up in G6 land in the 60s, or maybe you're a lower level player needing to know what to actually do with the Latinum that you earn in game, which you can earn several ways. One of the primary ways is going to be that button I just clicked and doing away teams. And again, there are a couple of away teams that pay it out, form trade agreement being one of the primary ones that a lot of people will use. You see, I've got a 55% one running right now. I'll go ahead and speed this one up. If you're curious about optimal crews for this, I find that having Riker, if you've unlocked him, Troy, and then Eurydice, or Eurydice as I like to call her, will give you all the ones you need down here to max this out. So running this every day, assuming you get it every day, allows you to get more Latinum, whether you're a lower level player or a higher level player, earning more and more. You see I hit a critical here, give me a nice 15,000. And then probably, since it's a rainbow mission, well, I got lead expedition, which I'm still really happy about. So the question now is, okay, what do we spend that Latinum on once we've earned it? Now, I will of course be using a chart from our friends, Jules, Blue, and a couple others, Light Bolt, shout out to those. For those who don't know where my charts are, just as a quick reference, if you go over to my Discord, I know I mention it all the time. Again, slower pace video. Join the Discord. It is right here in the volunteer charts channel of my Discord. So if you join my Discord, you'll go all the way to the very top. You'll see this rules and help. You can click on this. Just make sure you click on the STFC player button. Make sure that you have the STFC player role. If you have that role, then you'll be able to see all the Star Trek Fleet Command channels, including the volunteer charts channel that we just were at, where you can find many helpful tools made by many great individuals such as John Connor, Blue Mando, Jules, Silvis, and all the wonderful teams, including obviously our friends Stewies and Lubesies over at the Officer Tool. Good people. So if you haven't, check out that channel. So let's go ahead and jump into Latinum and what we spend it on and how much it costs to convert. Now, some of these prices might be a little bit shocking to you. In fact, let me make this a little bit bigger, easier to see, and we'll focus on that. We're going to start with the very top and talk about translating Latinum into resources. Now, this would be one where I tell you probably not wise to invest your Latinum in this. Don't use your Latinum to speed up, say, a research, where if you notice some of your research buttons might say, hey, you can do a research for really heckin' quick and really heckin' cheap if all you do is spend Latinum. So I'm gonna speed up research real quick and see if we can pull one of those out and kind of give you an example. So I might have one in the star-based tree. You've seen them before, if not, where you'll see this instant button. Now, the instant button only works in research if it actually includes standard resources. Anytime it has something like this, a currency that's special, you can't insta. But the insta's there based on the price of the dilithium, titanium, etc. that might be present. So just go ahead and start that research so I can have one going for an event that is currently ongoing. So back to the chart. Now, in a very rare moment where this game actually gives you a discount for bulk items, where if you notice in most refineries, you actually pay a premium for bulk. With Latinum, it actually does work in a cost reduction manner. The more you get at one time, the less it ends up costing you. See, for standard resources, if you're doing parcel, if you were to do 10 billion or greater lots, the amount that you pay Latinum per parcel decreases the higher volume you try to obtain at one time. So again, I would strongly recommend, everybody else is allowed to provide their opinions down below. I would strongly recommend against using Latinum for standard resources. I feel like there's a lot more value to use in other places, but you do get better bulk here. And then you can see it gets very pricey here with these Sigma. Now these Sigma materials, these are specifically for level 61 and above players in the G6 area of the space in Star Trek Fleet Command. So it's not going to affect 99.9% of the people who watch this channel. But in case that you are one of those individuals, you can see your transfer rates here, where I am 0.00012 Latinum per parcel, Sigma 23 Latinum. It's quite hefty of a charge. But that's going to be a theme that you see as we go through this. Scrolling down, you'll see common materials, G2, all the way down to G7. You don't really have a purpose for G7 really yet, but mind it where it is. So here are your conversion numbers for G2, G3. As you see, the cost here a little bit higher for G4, but this is actually reduced because at one point this G4 was actually 50. They reduced it down to 10, and then you have a discount when you're going for greater numbers. So that is actually a nice change. They actually made that based on player feedback. So appreciate Scopely listening in that regard for players with that. Coming down, ship parts. Now, once you get into the G4 and up areas of the game, ship parts, especially for commons, is a good place, I would say, to use Latinum. Even necessarily common materials, a good place to use Latinum if you have it. Now, on the left side of this chart, you'll see that there is a calculator. So if you did need to figure out, okay, how many ship parts do I need? Let's say I needed, 25,000 common ship parts. Well, then I would be able to see how much is that going to cost me in Latinum based on the amounts that I provide. So as you can see here with G3, 5 per 10, but going down to 0.4 per 1,000, and then G4 after 100 more, 4 a pop. So 1 G4 to 4 Latinum. All right, now we'll come down to the common ship parts. You see the conversion rates here. And again, commons, you can definitely use Lat here. I would argue there are more important things. As we get further and further down the list, you'll see the more important things. I do feel like this chart has it kind of ordered in level of importance, at least in my opinion. As we get down here, here's a big one. A lot of people ask me about this all the time, and I'll show you it in game because people are going to ask, wait, I can actually change independent credits for FKR credits? Actually, you can. So the one that gets forgotten about the most is definitely this one right here. Faction, Indie, etc. credits can be exchanged at a rate of 50 Latinum to 1 faction credit per, but there's not like a simple conversion table that you can just click anywhere. So let me actually show you an example of this in the game. What I'll do is I'll open up my faction store and we'll go and do ship parts because everybody knows that I'm currently going for the Tribune. Not because I need the Tribune, just because I like the Tribune. So I currently have 10.4 thousand Romulan credits. Well, for me to do a 10 blueprint pull, I would need 16,000. So I clearly don't have 16,000. So if I click on anything in like a faction store where I have a deficit of faction credits, I will then get an option to transfer that or make that hole filled with Latinum. Now, warning, the cost is high, 50 Latinum per faction credit. So as you can see here, I need 5,560 Romulan credits to make up for the deficit that I don't have. And I will do that just for y'all because I love you and y'all like to see me in pain. That was very, very painful. In fact, I'll do it again just for y'all so y'all can see full cost 16,000 is 800K. I just spent 1 million Latinum just so that y'all could see that is a viable option, which if you are maybe a mid-level or higher level player, that could be something that you did not know, but could be valuable information to help you progress. Maybe even saves you from buying a pack because now you can use Latinum to get those blueprints that you need instead of using money. So actually go out and buy a blueprint. So now you know if you didn't know. You can also do this with ship XP and officer XP. I would again advise you only do it with ship XP for higher level ships. Like don't do it when your ship is level 15 because you're not getting a good conversion rate. You need the high levels. It's understandable maybe then, but even then I would say because you have Texas class hostiles and augments, with the bounty hunters where you can auto grind that ship rep, probably not something I'd recommend in today's game, really going and using Latinum on. But if you are a lower level player watching this game, let's say you're level 25, I would call that a lower level player in the game. If you have not maxed out certain officers in the standard recruit, you can use standard recruit tokens to Latinum conversion in the same method that you would be using it as I just showed with the faction store. So how about this? We will back out and show you an example of that. So rotate on out, go to your officer store, you'll click recruit, go over to the standard recruit. Now I've got some sitting there, so we'll have to blow through these real quick as quickly as the game will allow. So we'll just kind of speed click real here and you'll see 4 Latinum per standard recruit will allow us to get more of those particular shards. I'm gonna go ahead and fly through all these and get whatever I get and see now I'm in a deficit again. Now 31 is what I need times 4. There you go. And that is going to then allow me to hopefully max out officers like Chin, which is big for a lot of players, is to get those Chin officers maxed out or that Chin officer maxed out and Talon maxed out here. You see I have Talon maxed out. And then seeing in that same vein, we've got Chin maxed out. One of the most important officers in the game. So the cost there in Latinum getting pretty high, I guess you could call it on these two, but valuable. Then here it comes in speed ups. And this is a big part of this one that I want everybody to grab and keep an eye on. So again, Light Bulb, Blue Mando, and Jules, thank you for putting this calculator and chart together. If you are a 6-star player, this is pain. Pain. Latinum per minute. 1 day speed. Oof. 1.5 million Latinum for a 1 day Sigma speed up. That's pain, ladies and gentlemen. That's pain. But for those of you players who are lower level, you'll see it's 300. And as you see, the higher day amount you go, you get a better ratio. So the 8-hour and 1 day speed ups are a better ratio of Latinum conversion than the 5-minute, 15-minute, 1 hour ones. Same thing with the repair speed ups. As you can see, getting the 1 day ones is far more advantageous than spending on, say, a 15-minute repair speed up. So Latinum can actually be used in a lot of ways. And because we have various events, battle passes, away teams that I really harp strongly on getting players to do the away teams to get more Latinum for yourself in the game. These are all the things you can spend it on. Some of these are kind of worthless, like the resources. Some of these are very valuable that you might not have realized, like faction credits, speed ups, and even standard recruit tokens for lower level players. Here are the rates. This is how it works. And hopefully this was an informative video. And while not my most exciting jumping up and down craziness, was still enjoyable to make. Hopefully it helps you out. Support the channel. Check out our merch link. Go to RevDeuce.com. You can actually support us as low as $5 a month on RevDeuce.com. That can actually help with our surgery fund we're doing for my wife. So appreciate all of y'all for watching the channel. Hope this helped you out. If it did, comment down below, like the video, subscribe, live long and plunder. Stay safe with the Space Cowboys. Deuces, that's me. Catch you on the next one. We're out.
An even better outro than the intro. For the Empire and glory to your house.